Hey guys, it's Miss Bree. I know you guys can't see my face, but it's me. I just thought this was a better option than having to twirl around the video a whole bunch. So today we're going to be doing some doodling exercises. I know I have a couple things doodled on my paper right now, but I'm going to doodle while I'm talking to you all about what we're going to be doing today. So this is not the actual exercise. This is just me letting you guys get ready, get caught up, get your stuff together. All you need is some paper and some writing utensils. I like colorful writing utensils. One of the prompts that I'm going to have are going to talk about colors, but you don't necessarily need colors if you don't have them. That's totally okay. So the reason that I decided to do a doodling exercise is because for those of you out there who may have heard, doodling while you're learning or listening to somebody can actually help you retain information. It helps you concentrate and actually focus on the words that are coming out of someone's mouth, or maybe a video or a lecture or anything that seems a little bit monotonous and you need to retain information. Doodling can actually help you focus and remember the information long after the talk is over. There was a study done by someone a while ago where I don't remember how many people it was, but a bunch of people had to listen to a voicemail, a really boring, not very interesting voicemail that somebody left. And the voicemail was a few minutes long, but what the exercise was the people that were listening to the voicemail, half of them were instructed to doodle while they were listening to the voicemail. And the other half were just instructed to write down information that they thought was important. So the doodlers, obviously, wanted to remember the information too. So as the person on the voicemail was talking, they would doodle, and then they would write down a relevant name. So they would say maybe, Brianna's going to pick up the cake for the birthday party tomorrow on the voicemail. So I'm going to write Brianna here, which is my name. But I'm going to go back to my doodling. So I'm switching back from writing to drawing. And why that's important is our brains function in a lot of different ways from other people, but something that's similar is that we all learn through our auditory channels, which is when we can hear, when we're listening, when we can touch something, so touch memory, a little funny hand. We learn with emotion, an emotional response, and we learn visually. So typically, we use about 2 of these things to remember information. So in class, some of the things that you might use to remember information is you might write notes so that you can remember your information. But you're also probably listening to your teacher. Sometimes you might be watching a video and you might be listening to what someone is saying. But what's really fun about doodling is that it actually uses all 4 of these components. And because of that, the people who doodled during the exercise of the voicemail, the boring voicemail, 29% more information was retained by the people who were doodling. So the people who were doodling remembered Brianna's name. The people who were just writing down names may have remembered Brianna's name, but they might not have remembered what Brianna was doing. Does anybody remember what Brianna was doing? Anybody? You guys got any guesses? Do we have anybody? Some of you guys may not have been here, but Brianna was picking up the birthday cake for the birthday party. So that is why it's really important to remember that doodling can be a pro in the classroom or at home. So if you guys are at home studying, if your parents are having you do online classes or maybe reading some books, try to incorporate just a little bit of doodling into it because it can help you remember a lot more information. Doodling can also help you spur creative insight. I meant to draw a regular hand, and then when I drew this little guy, it reminded me of a show that I watched as a kid called Ed, Edd and Eddy on Nickelodeon. Or was it Cartoon Network, Alicia? Miss Alicia is helping me out. I think Ed and Eddy was on Cartoon Network.
I think so.
Yeah. But that just reminds me of Ed and Eddie hands. And so now I kind of want to draw a little bit more silly than regular. I like to draw realistic, and sometimes I like to draw silly. You don't necessarily have to be good at drawing or have any sort of honestly creative abilities if you feel like you're not that creative to doodle. Doodling doesn't have anything to do with the execution of art. All it is making what seems like meaningless marks or patterns. And it stimulates your brain. It helps you process emotions. So if you're having a hard day, or I don't know if you've ever been in class and you just had a bad morning, maybe you didn't get to eat breakfast, or maybe you had an argument with a sibling, or you forgot some of your homework, and you were in class and you just started doodling just to kind of help calm yourself down and kind of realign your thoughts and restart your day. So it can help process emotions. It's something that you can do when you're a little bit stressed out, because it also alleviates stress. So I don't know if you've ever doodled to alleviate stress, let us know. I definitely doodle to alleviate stress. I doodle during training. I doodle at meetings. I doodle when I'm listening to webinars. I don't take classes anymore, but I do trainings. I just made the piano keys wrong, but you know what? It's a made-up piano, so it's okay. So I'm just doodling while I'm talking to you guys, but I have some really cool prompts for you. So we're going to get started on some of these prompts. I think this has been a pretty good amount of time for everybody to kind of get situated and get settled in our doodling activity. So materials I have this easel. It's not necessary that you have an easel. I just have it so that you guys can see it a little bit better while I'm drawing. But I have lots of different colors of markers. You don't have to use Sharpies. We just had a lot of Sharpies on hand for training. So I have lots of nice colors. I have Sharpie brushes, and then I have these big old chonky guys, these big old chonky markers that we might use later. So you just need some paper, need some writing utensils, and then we can get started. So I'm going to go to a new page. This is just my introductory doodle page. So the first thing I want to do is I want to divide up my paper into fours, because I don't want to have to doodle on a whole piece of paper. I think that it's not necessarily a waste of paper, but I feel like I can get a lot of things done in small spaces. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to make a sloppy grid. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you really like things perfect, you can measure it out. You can use a ruler, or you can fold your paper into quarters so that you have nice even lines, but I'm going to be okay with this because I feel like this is going to be more of a relaxer for me than anything. So I'm just going to pick any color. I think I'm going to doodle with some purple. So the first prompt that I want you guys to do is to fill one of these squares. It doesn't matter which one. I want you to fill it with circles. They can be big circles, small circles. I just want you to fill your space with circles. So if you're watching along, I'll keep talking, but I want you guys to fill up this whole quarter with circles. They don't have to be perfect circles. They can be wonky if you want. And also, as we doodle along with each other, I don't want you guys to feel intimidated by the way that I'm doodling. I don't want you guys to copy what I'm doing. I really want you to have your own sense of your doodle page, because it's yours. No one else should be bothered by it. No one else should be paying attention to it. You're not getting graded. No one's watching over your shoulder. This is just for you, so you can doodle however you like. And I think that's my favorite thing about doodling. But I'm just going to fill this page with circles and just make decisions as I kind of move along through the paper. I notice that I keep making these kind of similar sized ones, so I think I'm going to go a little bit crazy and maybe put one off and do a lot of tiny ones right here. For those of you who don't typically doodle, it's really calming. Alicia, do you want some paper? Do you want to doodle?
No, I'm not.
We'll do another one like this. And we'll keep going. Huh?
Music while you doodle?
Yeah, you can listen to music. You don't have to doodle when you're trying to remember something. You can doodle whenever you want. You can do it before you go to bed if you want to have a little bit more of a restful night's sleep. There's hot air blowing right on my face. It's drying my eyes out. I'm going to keep filling up my section with circles. We're almost done. I hope none of you cheated and just made a bunch of big circles to fill your space. I hope you guys took some time. I know it might seem silly, but in the end, I think you guys might learn a lot about yourselves and how doodling can help focus or to chill you out or to remember information. So I've filled my space with circles. So do any of you guys notice a pattern in your circles? Do you guys notice a pattern in my circles? I tried to do this as randomly as possible, but oftentimes when our brains kind of go mindless and when we let ourselves relax, we might actually subconsciously make some patterns. So I think mine has a pattern here. I'm going to use my pen to draw the pattern line so you guys can see. But I definitely have a pattern right here. Do you guys see that long line of similarly sized circles? And then you know what? I think I have another one kind of up here. This one's a little big, but it kind of goes like this. And then I have my big old chunky circles by themselves. I'm going to draw little faces in them because I think they look silly. So the next prompt after the circles one are squares. So I'm going to let you guys kind of get started before I start, but I want you to fill another square up on your paper with squares only. So get a different color if you want. You can use the same color, but we're going to fill one of these quarters with only squares. So I'm just going to do the one right next to it. And I'm making the choice to make my squares off balance, so they're not going to be all in the same direction. I'm also not that good at drawing very equal squares, so we might get some rectangles in here, but I think that's okay. This one's a little bit more different than the circles. It's less organic, seems geometric, right? Because we have lines and angles. Has anybody ever filled up a space with random shapes? I know for a while when I was younger, I was really into hearts. I drew hearts everywhere. I filled a whole page with hearts once in class, and I got into so much trouble. My teacher was not happy that I spent all that time not listening to her, but I didn't remember as much as I wanted to, but I did remember some information. So I'm glad for that. But hearts are a little bit easier. They kind of flow a little bit more. Squares aren't really my strong suit. But what's also fun about doodling is that it's really easy to step outside your comfort zone like we talked about earlier. That's why I thought it would be cool to give you guys some prompts so that you guys wouldn't have to just make up your mind on how you wanted your doodles to be. You guys could actually follow along with some little ideas. I like this color too. I'm happy I picked blue for the squares. This one's taking a lot longer, it seems, than the circles are. If you guys have friends that have young children, if you guys have young children yourselves and they're not members of the Boys and Girls Club, they are still welcome to follow along, follow our page. If you're local, come check out the club when all of this stuff is over and we're all back together, hanging out, doing programming, helping with homework, getting ready for summer. We would be so happy to see you guys. give us some ideas of some activities that you guys want to see. Miss Alicia and I just spent a lot of time planning out next week, and we are so excited to share the calendar with you. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for it. We're going to do some cooking. We're going to do some reading. Lots of STEM activities. But you guys will have to find out when we get closer to next week. Also, you guys can tell I'm getting a little lazy now because I'm not paying attention to how straight my lines are. But I'm getting pretty bored at the end of this. The squares were a lot more work than the circles were. But I filled up my page this side with squares. Is there a pattern in the squares? Is it different than the pattern in my circles? I didn't do anything on purpose. I don't know if I notice any patterns. I guess we can take a look. We can see. Yeah, I think I see a pattern here. See a little bit of a pattern here. Oh, there's definitely one right here. So they're pretty similar to the patterns that I made in my first doodle. You guys can tell that I tried to keep it pretty random, but there's still patterns. I'm also going to draw faces on these little guys too because I got to be fair. They're going to have straight mouths though because they're squares. All right, one more. There, okay. So that exercise was to show you guys a little bit about kind of filling space, just mindless shapes, and how you can use shapes to relax, I feel really relaxed right now. That hot air stopped blowing right in my eyeballs, so I'm okay. So for the next two ones, I want you guys to find something around you or to look in your area and find something that's really tall. It can be a person, it can be an animal in your imagination, it can be something you've seen before, it can be something in the room, but I want everybody to draw something that's very tall on their doodle page. So for me, I'm gonna use, what color do I want? Green. I'm gonna draw something very tall, and something very tall to me. I don't know. Everything's taller than me, Miss Alicia. I'm pretty short. I'm just trying to think of something super fun. Miss Alicia is tall. I'm gonna doodle Miss Alicia because she is quite tall. She's a lot taller than I am. So, like I said, doodling is not meant to be drawing necessarily. You don't have to have an expectation of how good or bad something is. It's mostly just to relax yourself, find some time just to space out your thoughts, how you're feeling, and just relax just a little bit. I know it's been a really stressful time for a lot of people right now, and that's okay. Doodling might help you relax while we all go through this together. So obviously this isn't a realistic depiction of Miss Alicia, but I think it's pretty great. Her little shoes. Something else I just remembered is tall are sunflowers. And if you guys know Miss Alicia, you know that Miss Alicia likes to garden and grow things, and she's very good at it. She's a lot better than I am at it. So I'm just gonna draw a cute little doodle sunflower in this little pot that Miss Alicia is holding. And we have Miss Alicia. That's my something tall. So now I want you guys to use the other space to do something small. So what's something small that's in the area? What's something small maybe in the room you're sitting in? Or outside that you saw yesterday? Or if you've been to the store lately, what is something super small at the store? I'm gonna pick something small. I'm looking around the room I'm in. Oh, I think I have one. I think I have something small. Are you guys ready? If anybody can guess what this is before I'm finished, I would be very impressed. Does anybody know what they think it is? Does anybody have any ideas? I feel like the last couple of videos, there were a lot more people watching it after we were done than while we were doing it. What do you think it is, Miss Alicia? Do you know yet?
Let's see. Oh, is it a bagel?
Oh my gosh, we had bagels today for breakfast, but nope, it's not a bagel.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know what a nickel looks like, but I assume it has a man on it and some fives. So I've drawn a man with some fives on it. I hope there is actually a man on the nickel. But I drew a nickel. So even though something's small, we don't have to draw it super tiny. We can draw it big if we like. So we are going to start on a new page, and we're going to quarter it just like we quartered the last one. So we're going to split our paper up into 4. Oh man, I tried to get it even that time. It's just not going to happen for me, guys. All right, so now I'm going to pick one of these colors, this color. I like this color. I think this is my favorite color. And I want you to fill in one of these quarters with your mood. Doodle how you're feeling today. Doodle what your mood is today. So today for me has been pretty great. I had a meeting this morning. I got some bagels that my supervisor brought us, and it was super sweet. And I feel like we got a lot done today, Miss Alicia and I. Mr. Sheridan and Mr. Kurt held down lunch upstairs while we planned for next week. And I'm just feeling like there's a lot of growth going on. So I'm going to be doodling. You can unplug it, that's okay. You can unplug it. I'm doodling a tree because I feel like there are so many parts of a tree that keep it standing tall and keep it standing healthy. We have the grass around it that the leaves will fall on and that the branches will fall on. We have the roots underneath it that keep it strong and sturdy and safe. There's the trunk. This is just kind of how I'm feeling today. I'm feeling a little bit like a part of a really cool tree. A Boys and Girls Club tree. So that's my mood today. That's what I'm doing today. The next prompt is I want you to use only letters to draw a doodle. I want you to fill one of these spaces with just pick one letter. I'm going to use a B because that's the first letter of my name. So I'm only going to use a bee to create a pattern or to create a doodle. So I'm going to do, I think I might do like a little, bees are fun because you can adjust the top and bottom parts of a bee to make it fit a pattern really easily. So we've got a little bit of a hill. You can use any letter for this one. And I hope you guys aren't doing what I'm doing. I hope you're doing your own doodle with your own letters. If you guys are paying attention and if you guys are listening, you should be able to just doodle while I'm talking. You shouldn't have to worry too much about paying attention to what I'm doing on the screen. I think it's cool to have a visual representation, but don't worry too much about making it look like mine. I want it to look like yours. And you don't really have to fill your paper with your bee as long as you made some sort of pattern that you're happy with. Go little. I'm gonna go big again. Cool. So we got a weird little bee thing going on. Awesome. We're gonna stop there. So now I only have 2 prompts left, and for the first one, I want you guys to think of your favorite song. And it can be a song that's playing on the radio, it can be a song that your guardians might sing, it can be something that you sing to your friends, it might be a song that you wrote, it might be a song from a movie that you like, it might be a song that doesn't have words, that's okay. As long as you pick something that connects to you, something that you enjoy listening to. So I have a lot of favorite songs, so it's going to take me just a second to think of what my favorite song might be. But right now, I'm not going to tell you what the song is. I'm just going to doodle it because I want you guys to pick a song of your own and doodle what you think that song looks like if it was a doodle. So I'm just going to doodle and talk a little bit about what we're going to have for dinner today, what we're doing tomorrow, all that good stuff. So you guys can doodle along to your favorite song. You can listen to it while you doodle. That might help, but I'm just going to think about my song while I talk. So today for dinner, we are going to be eating McAllister's, Panera, I think we have Little Caesars and Pizza Hut. All 4 are going to be sponsoring us tonight and are going to be providing part of a meal for all of our members and young people that don't have a membership with us but need something to eat. Can definitely come get today from 3:30 to 5:30. We'll be here. We'll be upstairs. You guys can come see us and say hi. This is a car, but I'm not really a car drawing person, so I'm just kind of doodling what I think a car looks like. So I hope everyone who's really into cars doesn't get offended. Anyways, so we have some cookies coming from Panera, pizza coming from Pizza Hut and Little Caesars, and I believe salad from McAllister's. I'm really, really excited. Yesterday we had Culver's. It was so good. We had custard and grilled cheese and chili and chicken soup. It was awesome. So thank you so much, Culver's, for yesterday's dinner. It was so delicious. But tomorrow, we are having a taco party. Tomorrow, Taco Bell is coming to bring us food, and I'm really excited about that because I think Taco Bell is absolutely my favorite fast food restaurant. I'm trying to think of something fun to put on this. I don't know what you guys are drawing for your songs, but I think this one's coming along pretty well for me. I don't think anybody will be able to guess what this song is, but it's just for me. You guys have your song that's just for you, and I have this one that's just for me. All right, so I think that's the song that I'm going to go with. That's my doodle for my song. And we have one more prompt, so everybody should get all of their colors ready. So assemble your colors. I'm going to use these brush pens because I have a darker blue in it. But what I want you guys to do, I hope everyone is familiar with Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, and violet. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to use indigo. I'm just going to go Roy G. Biv without the I in the middle. So I'm going to write down really quickly just so I can remember and reference it. R for red. O for orange. Y for yellow. G for green. B for blue, and V for purple. Just kidding, it's for violet. This one looks a little pink, but well, it'll serve a purpose. So what I want you guys to do is to look at the colors of the rainbow. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. If you have an indigo marker or crayon, go ahead and use that too. Just go ahead and put that I right there if you want to. I like this purple better, I feel like. No, I'm just going to leave it. We're just going to be happy with how it's working. So what I want you guys to do is to arrange all of the colors in Roy G. Biv from the color that you like the most to the color that you like the least. So I am actually going to write out the colors because I want to make some doodle words. And then when we're done, we're going to find out what our personal rainbow looks like, and then we'll be done for the day. So this is our last doodle, so I really want you guys to make these words creative looking. So we're going to start with our favorite color of the rainbow. My favorite color, just from these colors, I would have to say is green. So I'm going to start with green. So I'm writing my green. I like doodling letters because it helps me focus and remember what I'm trying to think about, calms me down. If anybody that's participating that's doodling feels a little bit relaxed or lethargic, maybe even a little bit tired, ready for a nap, that is because you are relieving stress by focusing on something on paper like this. So green's my favorite. So there's my green. And I'm actually going to put a big green part of my rainbow over here. You don't have to put your part of the rainbow on your paper, but I think it's going to look interesting. So my next favorite would be blue. I'm curious to know what your guys' personal rainbow looks like. But next I'm going to pick, I would have to say violet is my next favorite. Man, I'm ready for a nap, you guys. This weather's making me sleepy. This doodling's making me sleepy. I also feel weird because I'm not used to drawing with my paper propped up like this. So I'm having a hard time personally, as somebody who really enjoys drawing and art in general, focusing on what's happening because I can't put my hands in the right and comfortable direction. So I got these three next. Sorry guys, my computer. I might have to say red is my, no, orange is my next one. Let's do orange. I really liked doodling bubble letters when I was a kid. I liked writing my name crazy on the top of my paper. I don't know if that's an appropriate place to do it, but when I was younger, that's what I really liked to do. So I made sure that when I doodled, it was on something appropriate, and that it wasn't when I was supposed to be doing something else. Now remember that when school gets back in session and everything kind of goes back to how it was, pretty normal stuff, and you want to doodle during class, make sure you're talking to your teachers about it. Make sure they're aware of why you're doing it, and make sure you're asking before you do it, because you want to make sure that it's something that can work in your classroom. Because if your teacher worked hard to do an activity that requires your full attention, that might be something you want to talk to them about. I'm picking red as my next to last. I like red a lot. There are a lot of places that I like to see red. But there's just too many colors to choose from, so I guess it's just down towards the bottom, I guess. Oh, I haven't even put any colors in my rainbow. You guys totally forgot to tell me. Oh my gosh. So blue was my next favorite. So violet was my third. Then orange. Then red. Oh, I feel bad. I didn't make any room for yellow. Does anybody else not like yellow as much as I don't like yellow? When I was younger, I also really wanted a yellow truck for some reason. I just had it in my head that when I got older, I was going to get myself a yellow Toyota Tacoma. I don't know why. But yellow just is not my favorite color. I have a lot of friends who yellow is their favorite color, and they wear yellow all the time. They have a bunch of yellow stuff. I knew somebody that named their dog Yellow. It's crazy. Well, there we go. There is our rainbow doodle and our own personal rainbow. So it looks a lot different than the regular rainbow. It looks a lot neater when it's kind of doodled out this way, and you can kind of see the way your rainbow is made rather than the typical red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. These things can help you if you're having a hard day. You can doodle some. You can just pick a small page. If you have a blank notebook at home that's maybe about this size, or even kind of like a standard half paper size like this. If it was about this size, you could use stuff like this to doodle and to kind of prompt yourself to take some time away from what's going on right now. I know there's a lot of stress. I think a lot of people are worried about what's going on right now and what's happening to the people we care about and to the people that are in our home. And I think that it's important to remember that you are important too, and that self-reflection is always good for the mind and for the body. So if you got some stresses, and if you're worrying about your siblings or maybe your parents or your grandparents, friends that you haven't seen in a little while, maybe doodle them a little picture and put it in a card and send it to them. Or you can take a picture and share it with us so we can see your doodles. If you did any doodles with us today, we would love to see them. Please send them to me. I want to see them all. If you guys have any questions about stuff that we're doing on our Facebook Live, please let us know. Please message us. We have a lot coming up next week. We have a cool plan in place. We have some more activities coming throughout the day instead of just at 2 o'clock every day. We have some stuff happening earlier in the day. We have some stuff going on later after 2. We're so excited to share it with you all, and we'll make an announcement, a super secret, special, awesome announcement on Friday. Tomorrow is Friday. I can't believe tomorrow's Friday already. But we're going to be making an announcement tomorrow about stuff that we're doing next week, so please stay tuned. If you enjoyed this, please share it with young people that you know in your life. Please let them know that if they have any ideas or if they want to see anything fun, to please share that with us, because we do serve our community and we love our members and we love the kids in our community that might not be members, but we're also here for all kids. Boys and Girls Club is not just its own community. We want to share what we have to offer with anybody that might need it, and we are so grateful that you guys stopped by to check this out. You guys have a wonderful day. Please let us know if you need anything or if you have any questions. All the materials that we do these activities for are here at the club, so if you have any young people that don't have access to art materials or paper or some things that we'll be using later on this week and next week, please stop by the club. When you guys pick up lunch, come just let us know so we can get some stuff to you. Don't forget, dinner tonight, 3:30 to 5:30, stop by the club. We're going to be having Little Caesars, Pizza Hut, McAllister's, and Panera, who are sponsoring us today. We are so excited. I can't wait to eat some pizza. I don't know why I didn't do some pizza, but you guys have a good day. Bye.